Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I have my Instagram stream over here, so let's get it going now. All right, so we are live and direct here on IG. We are live and direct here on YouTube. And we are live and direct here on Facebook from Marathon, Florida, here in the Florida Keys, where I am staying right now for my travels. If you guys have been following me for a while, you know that I've been on the road for a while traveling. I've been on the road traveling on my On to the Next tour. I called it the On to the Next tour of the country since July 19th. So we'll talk a little bit about my personal life and who I am before we get into the business side of what we do here. But if you guys, when you guys get to know me, you'll notice that I'm fully transparent with my personal and professional, and it does intertwine a bit. So I have no problem getting to know you guys on a personal level as well. I believe full transparency about who I am personally and professionally is very important. Because for me, it's important for me. Like if I was to follow somebody, I want to get to know them, right? More than just on a professional level. And so I'm allowing you guys, and if you guys want to, Island Vibes Atlanta, what up? If you guys want to get to know me on a personal level, feel free to ask me questions, or if you, whatever it is, Instagram. We're live on Facebook and YouTube. So if you go to the bio, there's a link there. You should be able to hop on that. If you want to watch on one of these other streams here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share my socials for you guys, which will, my socials links, not my social security number. Come on now. So my company is called jmarqeting, MARQETING. Now I know it's not traditional correct spelling, but what it is, it's a spin of marketing and my last name, Marquez. So that's how we came up with that about almost 6 years ago now. Officially incorporated as an LLC, and I have a couple of DBAs underneath that. As most of you know, and I have it in the summary there. I've built my services around cold calling, around prospecting for realtors. And I've been prospecting and cold calling and direct sales my entire life since I was 16 years old. Telemarketing, right? And I was good at it. I've always been good at it from the day I walked into the sales room. And even before that, going back to when I was a little kid, I love listening to Gary Vee because we have a lot of similarities, me and Gary. When I was a kid, I was doing all sorts of stuff to try to make money. And I don't even know if I was really just trying to make money. I was just trying to create businesses that would work to make money. I did things like I had a lawn care service on my street. In a couple of streets, I had a couple of neighbors that would pay me monthly to cut their lawn and to clean it up, right? So I would go and find out if they had a lawn service already, and I would just undercut them. Like, what are you guys paying? $30 a month? Oh, okay, I'll do it for 20. You know, I was basically taking people's business, taking food off their plate. And I was 8 years old, knocking on doors, had my lawnmower out there with my rake and the lawnmower saying, hey, I'm ready to work. Let's put me to work. Right? Because I think I started doing my parents' stuff first, and they would shoot me a few bucks, and then just like, man, I can mow everybody's house, everybody's lawn on this whole block. I can bring my buddy in, Jake, because I did. Me and Jake, it was J&J Lawn Mowing Young Men. We made flyers and everything, put flyers on neighbors' porches, had our parents' phone number on there, everything. Made sure they know we were neighborhood kids, just trying to earn some extra money for the summertime or whatever. Okay, so that's one thing I did. My parents used to have quite a few gatherings. We'd have a lot of friends and family over. Everybody had kids. And I had a lot of little video game consoles. I had like Nintendo, but I also had like the handheld ones you would play. Electronic ones like football or tennis, these little handheld ones. And if you were born in the 80s, you guys know what I'm talking about. I was born in 82, so I'm an 80s baby. Cheers, y'all. So what I would do, as my parents were setting up the house and cleaning up the house to have company, what I would do is I would set up in my bedroom like an arcade. Okay, so I'd have the TV, of course, with the Nintendo plugged in, and also have the Atari ready to go. But then I would have all my games around the room, and I would make an arcade in my room. And I would charge an entry fee for the kids, for my parents' friends and my family, my cousins and my little friends, my sister's friends. I have an older sister and a younger sister. Love you guys. And I would set up arcades, and I would charge a quarter, 50 cents, a buck, to be able to have access to my room. See, here I got this idea because people would bug me, and they would play my games, and they would mess my stuff up, and they would do it. And they would do it before I had the idea to start charging them. And it pissed me off as a little kid that they would come in and make a mess of my stuff and use all my stuff. And just, so I figured it out. I was like, man, I'm going to start charging. I'm going to charge them a quarter, 50 cents, whatever, just to have access to my games while they're visiting. Might be dirty, whatever. I did it, y'all. It was just my mind thinking, okay, what can I do? And it's a control thing, too. It's definitely a control thing. Even as a little kid, man, I had that in me. I was trying to control situations because I wasn't making a bunch of money off charging a quarter or 50 cents to use my games. But I had a business going, and I was getting money off you, and I was able to control who can use what games because I had an arcade now. This is an arcade. You're in my arcade that you just paid to come into. See? My dad used to take us to a lot of arcades when I was a kid and shoot his quarters and go play. So maybe a combination of seeing how the arcades were making money and getting mad because every other little kid was trying to use my stuff. I was like, man, I'm going to start charging them. So I did. I did that multiple times. I remember at different gatherings, I would have an arcade set up in my room. Other little businesses. And so I'm getting a little bit off track here, but I'm letting you guys know that I've been, in the process, putting things together, putting thoughts together about different business ideas since I was 7, 8, 9. I don't even, maybe even before that. Right. And I'm 39 now, going on 40 years old. Jmarqeting is my first legitimate business that I've incorporated and, going to be paying taxes on, things like that. And so my goal with Jmarqeting, and it always has been for the last 10, 15 years, is before I started Jmarqeting, I would always be working for somebody at their sales office. I would go work for this person. I would sell their product, sell their service, kill it, make decent money myself, right? Make decent money myself, but never really had reached my full potential because I was always building and being an asset to somebody else's dream, somebody else's business. And for the last, so about 5-6 years ago in July, I was in between one of those roles. And so rather than going back to another one of those roles like I always had, I rolled this out, right? And it didn't start off how it is now. And it's not going to be in 5 years. It won't look like how it looks today. But we started off as, Realtor would just pay me a monthly to be able to go through their leads. They would shoot me a spreadsheet or access to their database, and I would just be cold calling like old buyer leads or old leads. It was very broad. I wasn't niche. I wasn't specific. I didn't have a niche within cold calling. And I felt like in order to build value and to have better results, I needed to figure out a niche. And so I went towards the listing side of things because I knew there wasn't a lot of solutions for you realtors and for you investors to be able to get listings. Now, there's tons of solutions out there. You can buy leads all day from anything from Zillow to different SEO stuff. You can get all sorts of buyer leads. You can get people to fill out a form that are interested in buying a house. We all know that. And you can probably get that for as little as 3 cents or sometimes hundreds of dollars, depending on where you're getting it. Zillow killer. I said it. Zillow killer. ZK all day, boy. Anyhow, the point I'm trying to get across here, guys, is that when I first started this service, my services working with realtors, it was very broad. It wasn't specific of what they'd be hiring me to do. Whereas today, I'm known in the marketplace, and the way I market myself is a cold caller, a virtual assistant a virtual inside sales assistant or assassin or associate, whatever you want to call me. I don't care. Just don't call me late for dinner. At the end of the day, what people are hiring me to do, what you guys hire me to do, is to be your virtual sales team, to be making calls for you and for your team, creating leads, appointments, and that type of thing, right? So that's my business. We call you close. Now, Power Prospecting is a training and program to where I'm helping you guys just get better at your calling. You're not hiring me to call for you, but I'm helping you get better and working with you one-on-one to get better with your calls or with your assistant's calls. Let's say you already have an assistant, but they need to step their game up. You don't want to fire them. You want to help them get better, right? Because everybody can get better. If you're already doing it and you're having some success and you're calling every day, we can all get better. I get better every day. I learn something every day, whether I'm learning it from a phone call and a lead that I could have converted that I didn't, or I'm learning it from watching guys like Ricky, watching guys like Brandon, watching guys like Kevin Ward, Barino, Brian Casella, even though he hasn't been doing it as much anymore. He's more mindset. Shout out, Brian. All of you guys, man. Like, I've been watching you, Chris Igo. I've been watching you guys since the very get-go of Marqeting. Monica Ridzak, one of the first realtors down in Key West, she hired me on specifically to call call through her Vulcan 7 database. And that was my first experience of actually working with a platform, a prospecting platform. This is the first experience which really helped me improve my services of, rather than a realtor hiring me on and me using like an Excel spreadsheet and dialing by hand or copying and pasting and dialing by Google Hangouts, because that's how I did it before. And it worked. It was fine. It's just I wasn't able to dial as much. She had Vulcan 7, and she told me to learn to school myself up on Vulcan 7. So I went to YouTube and I started watching different videos on Vulcan 7, expired listings, and I found Barino. I found a few other guys, and right away I latched onto this, guys, because I knew that once I built some skills and some knowledge, once I made enough calls and learned how to convert these leads, it was going to be a huge value. I knew it was going to be a huge value because it's so competitive. It's one of the hardest targets to go after expired listings. Why? Let's talk about that for a minute. Why is an expired listing that just came off the market a more competitive, meaning me and other folks are going to be calling on? Why? Okay, so let's talk about an expired listing for a minute. Mr. and Mrs. Jones had 123 Cherry Lane listed for sale with John Doe Realtor over at ABC Realty, right? Let's say that they signed the listing. So it's September. Let's say they put the listing back on the market back in March, right? So it's coming up on 6 months and it's going to expire. It expires today. It expires today on September 23rd. And so what happens is me, every other agent, broker, assistant, ISA that has access to Vulcan 7, Mojo, or the MLS now has that new lead. They see that listing expired. And so first thing in the morning, 8 o'clock, we're calling. Everybody is. So I'm either going to be the first, second, third, but that person is going to be getting a ton of calls that day. Okay. So let's take that into account. One, they're frustrated because the volume of calls, like, where were you guys at when my home was for sale, right? That's what you always hear. But here's the thing. Point being is this, but they're also pissed off. Why? What's the main reason they're pissed off? Because John Doe Realtor at ABC Realty didn't sell the damn property like he was supposed to. Now, it may not have been his fault, but at the end of the day, the property was listed and it expired. So who does it look bad on? Even though there's probably a story and it may be the seller's issue, it may be other things going on, but it's going to be that agent's fault. Because here's the thing, that agent had plenty of time. In a market like this, there's no reason why properties shouldn't be selling. The reason being is usually because it's overpriced. And that may be the seller's issue, but in my opinion, that comes back to the listing agent not doing his or her job initially, advising that lister, that seller properly. So that alone is enough reason for that seller to look elsewhere. So I'm going to get in that seller's ear. I'm going to get in that seller's ear and set an appointment for the following day for my client to go by there, meet with that seller, and put that listing back on the market. I've been very successful at being able to set my clients up over the years and having them convert expired listings and getting them back on the market right away. And I'm able to help and teach you guys how to do that as well. That's a huge part of my training, is teaching you how to convert these off-market listings. A big part of it, guys, is not the script. It's not really, it's timing. And it's also understanding the mindset of the person that you're calling, understanding the situation that they're in, okay? And truly, genuinely being able to listen and hear what the issues are and address those and help them get that property sold so they can meet their goals, because that's what it comes down to. Yes, we're going to get paid. Duh. But that can't be our motivation. My motivation needs to be helping Mr. or Mrs. Jones do what they need to do. If they need to sell Cherry Lane to be able to buy Poplar Lane, then that's my goal, because they need to get to Poplar so they can be closer to their mother-in-law. So we have a lot of stuff there. They got to sell this house because their mother-in-law is ill. So we're going to help them meet those goals as default, by default, because this is what we do, because this is our fiduciary responsibility. Yes, we're going to get paid, but that can't be the front end motivation anymore, guys. It truly has to be, you're here to help these folks. And if you genuinely do, guys, it's going to start showing in your results. Eventually, you're going to start seeing, you're going to have more contacts. You're going to have more conversations. You're going to be creating more appointments or more Zoom meetings. You're going to give yourself more opportunity when your motivation to help these people starts to shift to actually helping and not jumping your pocket or your bank account, right? So I'm just talking general stuff. Covered a little bit of my history, where I've been in life, how I started the CERT business that I'm in now, where I am with that. Some other stuff we're looking at doing is getting into some multifamily investments. I'm looking to acquire myself a 4-unit property, probably somewhere in California, but I'm open to anywhere really. And then who knows where we'll go from there. But I want to start with a 4-unit, and then we'll move up from there most likely. And that's just going to be another thing that I'm going to be doing on the side. Most likely by the end of the year, next year, by the end of 2022, I also plan to go ahead and get my license to sell property. So in my local market, wherever that may be, I'll be generating leads and appointments for myself and listing property. And we'll see where that goes, because that's going to be another. But my goal is, before I get to that point, before I take myself away from what I'm doing now, is I'd like to start building a team of other assistants and other ISAs, other cold callers around the world to help scale, to be able to keep jmarqeting going, to be able to keep We Call You Close going. So I'm going to put this out there. If you're a VA, or if you're an ISA, or if you're a cold caller for realtors out there, or investors, or if you set appointments, if you're good on the phone and you enjoy telemarketing, because that's really what it is, if you're able to learn and soak info up and apply that, I'd like to be able to connect with you. And if you know somebody, send them my way. I'm not necessarily hiring right now, but I would like to be able to make connections with you guys that are also cold callers around the world. And when it gets to a point when I'm ready to scale this thing out, delegate some of my clientele over to you as a contract type thing, and we'll figure all of that out. But I'm just putting it out there into the world that we got a lot of stuff going, guys. Okay, so you can hire me and my team to make calls for you. Okay, I have some minimum qualifications that you must meet as a realtor in order to be able to fit in that box. If you're not quite there yet, budget wise, or if you're not doing enough business now to where it makes sense to hire a service like that. On the other hand, we can talk about some training, helping you get better with your calling. We work together one-on-one on a weekly basis, and that's what Power Prospecting is. Power Prospecting is the training program where I'm going to help you guys just get better with your calling. Not necessarily better with your calling, but better with those results. Now, if you're already making calls and you're doing great, good. Let's help you get better, right? If you guys see the link there in the screen, there's a link to Rookie to Relevant Realtor resource. That's my group. We have 80 members in there. That's my public group. I also have a private group for my training program, but that's the public group. If you're a realtor, a wholesaler, if you use the phone to create business in real estate, that group's for you. Not only if you're interested in my training program, but there's a lot of like-minded individuals in there to be able to network with around the world. Let's see here. Give me a moment. I'm going to start making some calls here in a little bit. Let me open up RedX and see what we got. I had a sales, he's an agent, but he's also a rep for another platform, and I won't mention the name, but because I'm always talking about RedX, because I'm always talking about Vortex, RedX, he assumed that I had a partnership, that I was an affiliate of RedX, and he was trying to get me to look at his platform as an alternative to replace RedX. But what he doesn't understand, because he must not be prospecting enough in order to understand his own products or different products. It's not a real estate prospecting platform, so it's not designed for realtors. Yes, it's a dialer. Yes, it has a decent CRM. But one of the main features that a platform like RedX or Mojo or Vulcan has is that it provides the leads. You can subscribe to all the off markets. You can subscribe to the for sale by owners. You can get the for rent. There's different leads that you can subscribe to within the platform. It's all in one. I call them 3-in-1 systems: leads, dialer to make calls, and a CRM to make notes and set up follow-ups, right? It's not a full CRM to where you're going to be able to really, you're still going to want a CRM outside of this, right? But there's enough to be able to take notes and that type of thing and keep track of callbacks and that sort of thing. Call recording, you can look at your metrics of your calls. So there's a lot of bells and whistles in there too, in these platforms. And the biggest difference is there's other platforms that like this one that the gentleman was trying to present to me out there. There's a ton of them, but they're not built for real estate. They're built for salespeople, for call centers, and that's fine. For what I'm doing and for what my clients are doing, it doesn't make sense to go that direction, because then you still have to be paying for leads, or you still have to be able to get the data somewhere. Yes, you can scrub the MLS. Yes, you can scrub FSBO.com. Yes, you can go to places like Kohl's neighborhood directory. But guess what, guys? That takes extra time. Those are other platforms, extra steps that we don't need to take, which will take away more time of admin work and pulling lists, takes away from time that I'm on the phone. They don't understand that. All he understood was that he has a great product and that he needs to sell it to me. I used to be like that. When I was selling websites, I was just like that. I didn't give a crap. My job was to cold call a realtor and get a credit card. Get the credit card. Doesn't matter what you're doing or if it's even beneficial for them. I'm here to close the deal. That's not how I do business anymore. I'm great at that. But for what we're doing now in the prospecting world and lead conversion, lead generation, that mindset needs to go out the window. I can take that mindset and that foundation and mix it with my now analytical. I'm more analytical. I'm more relationship based compared to wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, close the deal, I'm a scram, right? I used to be like, I want to close the deal, and then I never want to talk to that person ever again. Today, I want to create a relationship and have a client for life. For life. Huge change in mindset. All right, so let's look at a few things here. Let's make some calls down here in Florida since it's early. Can't quite make calls in California yet. So I have some leads pulled in the area that I'm in now. So let's just go ahead and call these. So I'm down in Marathon, Florida, which is in the Middle Keys. Be here for you for a few more days before I start heading north. I continue on with my travels. We're going to end up going up Florida, stop off at a few natural springs and do some more kayaking and some camping. Specifically Rainbow River area. There's a lot of beautiful manatee up there. They're going to start coming back. The manatee are going to start coming back. And I met some great people. They're going to allow me to give me a place to stay. You know, even if it's just camping on their property and be able to use the bathroom and shower. I'm cool with that. And then eventually I'm going to keep traveling back, and I'm going to keep working, and I'm going to continue to do these live streams on the road. I'll probably be back in California in the beginning, middle of October. So a couple more weeks of traveling. Okay, I'm going to switch up the phone should ring.
To wave. Press 1 to continue.
All right, here we go. Here we go. So these calls, guys, what are we doing? All right, so these are, I pulled geo leads. So this is, I have an area, and tax and title records will give us a few phone numbers of the owner. And I'm calling to see if they're ready to sell. I've never spoke to them before. They didn't fill out any forms. They didn't raise their hand and say, I want to sell my property. I'm cold calling to see if they're ready to sell. And if they are, even if they're not going to sell, if they were going to do something real estate related, do they have a realtor that they would work with? So I'm trying to see if they have somebody they would do business with, and then if not, establish a relationship. I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate how we do circle prospecting and create leads for the database. Important thing to do when we're creating leads for the database is getting all the correct contact info. If I can get the email and confirm the phone numbers and make sure they know who I am and let them know that we're going to be following up and they're okay with that, that's just as good as an appointment for me in this situation. Okay, this one's worth about 1.2 million. Good morning to whoever just tuned in.
Hello, you've reached Josh. Couldn't get this over right now. Please leave a message.
At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options. To leave a callback number, press 5.
On to the next. So we're using the single line dialer. I've decided to shut off the triple line. When I'm doing this type of calls, I'm not worried about the amount of dials. I'm trying to have quality calls. So when we have the 3-line dialer on, that's usually when I'm just trying to, make as many calls as possible and blowing through stuff. Now, there's times that I will use the 3-line dialer. But in this type of situation, I want to be able to go through each phone number the lead has and just take my time with it. There's no rush on this type of situation.
Hello, you have reached Sally Engler.
So this might be a condo or this actually is a motel. We don't want to deal with that. Okay, here's your single family home here, right on the Gulf of Mexico. Good morning. I was calling for Scott or Heather. All right, thank you. So I would normally ask a wrong number if they're in the market. However, it was an out-of-state area code, so I decided just to leave that. Yesterday, we created a fantastic lead.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 920-627-2669 is not available.
Speaking of which, I have some homework to do on that one from yesterday. Let me take a look at something here. So this call here, let's listen to it. This started as a wrong number, then I called him back.
Hey, sorry about that, man. Yeah.
This is the call back when I called him back, guys.
Roll off ways over in Orangeville. No. Would probably wish I owned it, but I don't. Duplex out there. Well, hey, while I got you on the phone, are you looking to buy or sell anything? I don't know. What do you want to buy or sell? Well, I work with a local realtor, so are you looking to buy or sell any property? Well, I sell my house for the right amount. What's the right amount?
Well, I'd sell if I can get the right amount.
Being serious. Well, being serious, the two down the road. One.
So a lot of times when somebody says I'd sell for the right amount, they're usually unrealistic. They say if the house is worth $800,000, they'll say, "Well, I'll sell for $1.5 million." So nobody will pay that. But he's realistic, so I need to make sure I place this lead with my guy up in Chico. So I'm going to pause this for a moment, and I'm going to go through the motions of how we should follow up with these types of leads. Actually, we'll do that after the stream. Let's stay on task here. But I will place that here, and I'll update you guys with that. I'll play that call after this dial session. Once we get going on dial session, I don't want to get sidetracked. That just popped into my mind, so I need to make sure I handle it so it doesn't slip through the cracks. Yeah, I'm not a robot, guys. I make mistakes, and that's a mistake. That should have been handled last night. But it's all to the good because he's not like an expired listing where he's going to be getting all sorts of calls unless one of you guys called after listening to it. Which, no, hey, props to you. I'm not hating. If you guys can rip business off of me, props to you. I doubt you can, but if you figure out a way to do that, hit me up and say, hey, bro, you left money on the table. Check this check out. I won't be mad at you. I don't hate. I congratulate. I'm so transparent with stuff. I mean, I'd be, if you guys aren't doing that, I mean, shit. Sometimes when I'm watching other guys making calls, I mean, I've gotten business off of them. I can teach you guys how to do that too. Okay, let's see what Aaron says. I have a contact that way. In the past, we've done business together, and if he'll take the listing, I'll place the listing with him. Once he sells it, he'll pay me a finder's fee on it. On to the next. What up, guys? We got Instagram over here. We got Facebook and YouTube over here, live and direct.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 30144822243 is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
On to the next. Let's check this one out. This one is another single family home right down the road.
Automatic voice message system 25367822717 is not available.
If you guys are realtors in the Chico, Northern California area, shoot me a DM. I might got a deal for you. Actually, I have a listing for you. On to the next. Somebody pick up the phone.
Has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system. 85069955593 is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
It is 10:04. Can't call in Cali till after 8. So I'm getting warmed up and making calls down in Florida. I'm going to customize this list a little bit so we're not wasting time calling data that we're not going to mess with. All right, just create a little short list. We'll call these leads. Just waiting on the red X dialer to refresh. Coffee break. All right, I think I might have found a team to place that with if I need to. I just found another one on that same road that sold, and it sold for $684. So I think he might be misinformed about. I just found the agent that sold that property. I'm gonna contact her and see if she wants a referral. This is a good way for me to be able to create a relationship with a new realtor, and she looks like she kills it. So I'm gonna try to connect with her here. And so, like, if I place this referral with her, that's going to be like a $20,000 commission for her. And sorry, I'm not bringing anybody into live, but thanks for tuning in. So I'm going to connect with her. Thanks for tuning in, but yeah, I'm not bringing anybody into the live. Thank you. You guys are probably like, what is he doing? So I'm in the process of connecting with this agent that I'm going to place this listing with. Yesterday, I made a call. Yesterday, I made a call, and I'm going to play the rest of it here for you guys.
Dave, sorry about that, man. Yeah, roll off ways over in Orangeville. No, wish I probably wish I owned it, but I don't. Duplex out there. Well, hey, while I got you on the phone, are you looking to buy or sell anything? I don't know. What do you want to buy or sell? Well, I work with a local realtor, so are you looking to buy or sell any property? Well, I sell my house for the right amount.
I'd sell my house for the right amount.
What's the right amount? And let's open conversation on that and being serious. Well, being serious, the two down the road, one sold for like $850 and one up for sale for like $850 right now. Okay. Someone wants to give me fucking pretty close to that than with or without the furniture. Well, let's at least open conversation on it. My name is Jeremy.
Boom.
Like I said.
So that's the one I'm trying to place right now. So it's hot. He's ready to go. That's a listing, and I'm trying to give it to this gal here because she just sold one on the same block. It's like it's a husband and wife partnership. Garul and Alicia. We'll see what happens. I mean, they're going to, of course, think I'm trying to like sell them a bill of goods. But what they don't know is that I'm basically placing a deal on their lap. Damn, Red X is acting stupid. I'm going to wrap this live up, guys. Hit me up if you need any help with your listing production. Hop on calendar. We can discuss details and set you guys up. Have a good day over here.